Good evening, everyone. My name is Carpo, and I'm going to present an argument here, if you will. An argument by traditional definition, perhaps. As silly as it may sound, I would like to say that life is worth living. Life is worth living because we are alive. Life is worth living because there is only one other option that we know of for a fact, and that is not living. Regardless of whether or not you believe in a God or not, whether you believe in a heaven or a hell, we know that this reality, as we know it, as this one reality as humans, in this body, in this mind, that we know as a fact, we have a choice to either be alive or be dead. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of people who are sick or completely hospitalized or demented or can't function properly. That may be in a bad way. But the point of this is really just to say that life is worth living. And the reason I'm making this is I just finished a video and I was getting up to leave, and I thought I wanted to make one quick video about a subject. What would it be? And it would be a letter, or rather a note, to all the people that I've heard over the years saying that life is essentially meaningless. And this often is described as nihilism, or the belief that life has no inherent value. But I would like to know that, for those who aren't aware, nihilism doesn't necessarily just say that life is meaningless, but rather that's omitting a crucial component of the argument, which is that life itself is meaningless. It's all what you make of it. It's what you do with it. It's that we cannot come to a consensus on what's important. That the Christians believe that we need to serve Jesus and go to heaven. The Buddhists believe that they need to perfect their souls, reincarnate, eventually reach the pinnacle and become a bodhisattva. Every single different culture has their own beliefs about where you come from and where you go. But all of that aside, it becomes irrelevant in the big picture. We get too caught up in semantics and details and what religions mean and whether or not we're going to do this when we die or do this when we come back to life. It's about the big question of, is this life important? And that comes down to whether you do something with it, worth it for yourself. And I've heard it asked very seriously by people, like, how do you make life something meaningful? And I would just say that to the people who are hurting inside and really thinking that they have to do something great, the people that have this illusion that all the great people in history have, built these giant monuments and, left inscriptions and been kings and leaders and philosophers, that's all bullshit. The unsung heroes in history, the true heroes of our time and all times, are the small people, the little men and women, the ones that are unheard, unspoken, the ones that keep the floor tidy and keep their houses clean so their children can grow up, become these wonderful blacksmiths or astronauts or arborists, whatever they may be, and eventually decide that they want to change the world, or just something as simple as changing themselves. And that's really the message I wanted to convey, without sounding pious or silly or arrogant or idiotic. Just to say that it really is what we create. In this reality, when we call ourselves creators, Don't take it too seriously when you hear the New Age jargon, because the premise behind these things is true. The law of attraction, the idea that we create our own reality, the idea that everything we live in is an illusion or a dream. All these are true, but only true by a degree. It doesn't negate the fact that we still exist. It doesn't matter if everything's an illusion or if this is a dream. What matters is that we are questioning these things. And the only way for me, in my personal life, to resolve the issue of what is life worth is to decide that it's worth living, and that's really all that matters. It's worth existing, and it's worth experiencing, and it's worth doing in a way that we can keep our minds free of negativity as much as possible, while still embracing the darkness that we're all part of, and understanding that each one of our neighbors and friends are just like us. That every person, whether they're famous, poor, rich, male, female, black, white, green, brown, that most of us just want a good life, and that we can't let the few negatives outweigh the positive that we have here. Because I would say if we did just randomly evolve from chance, that makes it all the more amazing that we exist at all. Have a wonderful evening.